Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today we're going to be going over the Golden State Warriors potentially trading for Coby White. Today, or a little bit earlier today, Bleacher Report did a article about 5 trades that nobody is talking about, and they proposed these 5 different trades. There were a bunch of them. I mean, one was like Jaylen Brown potentially going to the Magic, and I know there was like one where the Cavs and Nets swapped Jared Allen and Cam Johnson. I mean, there was a bunch. There was 2 others besides the 2 I just mentioned, and the one we're going to be going over today. But the one that involves the Golden State Warriors is a sign and trade, not just a regular trade, but a sign and trade that would involve Jonathan Kuminga and Coby White with the Bulls and the Warriors. Obviously Jonathan Kuminga is headed into free agency this summer, and honestly, I think what would be best for this Warriors team with the money, the money that Kuminga is going to get, it's going to be a lot. I mean, it's been reported the Nets are willing to give him $25 million a year. So I don't know what the Bulls would be willing to give him in a potential signing, but I'm sure it's probably around that number if they're going to compete with what the Nets are going to, give him in a contract. I think what is the best thing for the Warriors, in my opinion, is to do a sign and trade. Whether it's this sign and trade that we're going to talk about or the Nets sign and trade proposal of you get Cam Johnson for Jonathan Kuminga. I think Jonathan Kuminga is a great player. It's you saw it in that series against the Timberwolves, what he did in the final 4 games. Yeah, 4 games of that series. Last 4 games, he had 18, 30, 23, 26, shot pretty well from 3, great defensively, had a total of 3 steals and 3 blocks in those last 4 games of the series. He just played great in those 4 games, and just really in total the whole series. And, so give credit to him. And this is just my opinion, I don't know how other people feel about this, but I just don't think you're gonna see the full potential, the full potential of Jonathan Kuminga as long as Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler are out there. I think you see a good side of Jonathan Kuminga of when it's just him and Steph, but with Jimmy Butler and Draymond and Steph, I don't think you're gonna see that full potential. You saw that full potential while Steph was out. I think this is what he can be, if not maybe a little bit better. Potentially. I don't know if I'd say a little bit better. I mean, he had in the last 3 games 30, 23, and 26. So, but I don't know if I could see him doing stuff like that if Steph and Draymond and Jimmy Butler on the floor. And I look at guys like Coby White and Cam Johnson, who are great shooters, absolutely great shooters. Coby White and Cam Johnson, the last couple of years, have done a great job at shooting the basketball. And I look at them as good fits for this Warriors team. I think they're good fits to be guys next to Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. And also Cam Johnson potentially helps with adding in more size and good rebounding. I don't know what Coby White doesn't really help with the rebounding issue this Warriors team has, or the size issue at all. I think the Warriors have to try to figure out another way to do that this offseason through free agency or through trade, because they can try to make some other deals or try to make some other signings. But Coby White would be a good addition. They need another scorer, I believe. You saw in the playoffs, Jimmy could not score, with no Steph. You need another scorer. Also at times this year, you did see some struggles from Steph. A lot of those struggles were before Jimmy came in, but you did see some struggle games for Steph without, when Jimmy was there. Like, this is a great example. The Rockets bring in the defense, hounding Steph, double teaming him. I think this is another great example. Another team that really attacks Steph and Curry is the Sacramento Kings. They full court press Steph all the time. They double team him. I think the one team outside of the Rockets that attacks Stephen Curry the most are the Sacramento Kings. And sure, as he had some dominant performances against those teams, but he's also had some really bad performances as well. And that has really got to him. Now, if you add in a scorer and a great shooter like Coby White, that makes it harder to double team and press Steph the way some of these teams do. Because Coby White is a 37% three-point shooter, who on 8 3-point attempts per game, 38% last year on 7 attempts, a 20-point per game score. That would be great for this Warriors team. And you get that for Jonathan Kuminga. I think the problem would be that you got to have to figure out what is the future of Coby White with the Warriors, because Coby White is on a 1-year deal. He's an aspiring deal after this year, but he's a guy you could look to as being potentially a part of the future post-Steph retirement. Coby White, he is, yes, going into his 7th season in the league, but he is only 25 years old. He's been in the league since 2019, but is only 25 years old. And if Steph has he's definitely going to be under 30 by the time Stephen Curry retires. I don't see Stephen Curry playing another 5 seasons. I don't know if it's 3 or 4 seasons, but that's definitely putting him under the age of 30 years old by the time Stephen Curry retires. And what we've seen in the last 2 years from Coby White of the improvements from the 2022-23 season, 2023-24 season, he took a jump of 9 points per game to 19. The shooting definitely got better as well for him. This season, it wasn't as huge of a jump, but he did take the point per game average to 19 to 20 and a half. The assist did go up a little bit down. The assist did go down a little bit. But he has turned into a great player in the last 2 years, and you've seen improvements in the 2 last seasons for him. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw more improvements for him as the years go by and in the next couple years. And so, like I said, I think this Warriors team, one of the biggest problems they have, it's not something that's now. I think one of the biggest problems this team has is figuring out a future after Stephen Curry's retirement. And Coby White could help with that. He's a great scorer. He's a great shooter. But not only can he help with what they're doing after Steph retires, but he can also really help now. I think he helps better. He helps them, to me, he helps them win now better than Jonathan Kuminga does. I don't know if he'll help them win better when Steph retires than Jonathan Kuminga would, but you can't keep wasting these years of Jonathan Kuminga. And here's another thing. You do not want to give a guy a 4-year, $25 million extension when you're already paying guys like Draymond, Jimmy, and Steph the way you're paying them. If you're going to have him sit on the bench, that's a waste of his time. Coby White, you could pay him good money, and he's going to start. He's going to start at the 2 right next to Steph. Podziemski's great. He's got a good future, and maybe him and Coby White could be the future 1 and 2 for this Warriors team once Steph retires. But Podziemski go to the bench. Buddy Hield would be on the bench. Coby White's going to start next to Stephen Curry if they get him. So Kuminga's not going to start. So, but let me know your thoughts on the potential trade for the Warriors in the comment section, and peace out.